Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gamer, we're back in Watcher of Realms, and today I wanted to go and have a quick look here at Anora, and then she's got this skill here, this passive, a second passive here. When on the battlefield, increases the attack level by 12%, yeah, that's a dragon that she summoned along. It's the second part that's the important bit here, okay, and grants damage increase to other allied summons, so it's a damage increase of 10%. And it's to other allied summons. So I thought I'd have a play around with it, see what it actually does, how it actually works, that sort of stuff. Now the first place I'm actually trying it out is in the arena on the Mother of Crows. So let's jump in and have a quick look at that. So I've pre-recorded a lot of this stuff to make it a little bit easier and quicker to go through. So I'm just going to build it up to about 30 coins because there's problems with the next wave coming on and summoning her and that sort of thing. So there's the Mother Crows coming down here, and then we will trigger off her ultimate when we get enough coin. There we go. So there's her ultimate, and there's the crow that she summons. So she actually summons this crow. That's classified. I thought that would be classified as a summon, so we can get to see that. And then as the next wave comes on, it'll be sent over to attack the next wave, and we can see what it hits for. So there it goes. Hits for 37,800 and a bit. And then we can see the next attacks it does, and it does 29,800 and a bit. And there we go. So that's that one done. Right, 2 secs. Let's pause there for a second and importantly get me out of the way a touch. So there we go. That's me out of the way a bit more. Right. There we go. So this is the second time coming around on it. So again, we're waiting to be at 30. We then put Mother of Crows down, and we build her up until she hits her ultimate. And then when she triggers her ultimate, we should have enough coinage there to come round. There's the round one, and then we can summon our hero, and we can put our hero up out of the way. There we go. That's her on the screen. And there we go. And now when it comes over, we can see it now hits for nearly 41,000. So we've had that increase there. That's classed as a summoned. An allied summon. So there we go. So there's the extra, that's 32 and a bit thousand, so that's a jump as well from the 29. So there we go. That is the allied summon trick with it. Now these are the other heroes we've tried. Anyone who had summon in their kit, realistically, that's who we grabbed. So on here's A1, summons a spike that deals damage. Check that, didn't work. Here we go, she does some summoning, and there we go, summons one Ice Seed. Check that, didn't work. And here we go, someone that everyone's using, or pretty much, there's a lot of people using this Cursed Blade, and it says summons a magical blade. We're using that in our Guild Boss 2 to get that blade saw come round, and we're getting those stuns on to knock that blade saw back and getting the 12 debuffs on him. So there we go, using him, that summons as well, but that doesn't actually work with her as well. It's not classed as a summon in the same way. And there we go, we've got our leader here, and he summons thunder that deals AoE damage. That's not classed as a summon either. So they're all the ones that are out the way and didn't work straight away, or it didn't appear to work. Now how do we find the ones that do work as opposed to the ones that don't? That's sort of the question. Now if you come over to your hero page and have a quick look at your heroes, if you have a look down at the bottom on the filter part, there is a tag there that says tag filter, and then you can open up a separate filtering system connected to your heroes. So if we scroll down this, you can see there's quite a few options there, but one of them is classed as summon. So if we select that, then we can see these are the heroes that are classified as summoning. There we go, get me out of the way again. So these are the ones there that get classified as summons. So that's pretty much how you can find out what you've got on your roster. My accounts are different, so I've got some others on the other account. We will swap over later to see both of those in action as well. And that's what's classified as a summon. So you can easily find out for yourself, because it's quite a good little tab they've put on there. It's not ideal. I mean, there's a lot of the search function that I prefer to have a larger search function for, or negative searching as well. But I mean, we've got to run with what we've got. So that's what we've got. So we're going to take some of these out for a spin. We're going to put them into Guild Boss 1 so we can quick and easy see them, and then we'll just be able to see what they're actually doing and how it actually works. So here we go, here's the first one coming down, known for AoE damage. So if you're in the arena and you're thinking about it, then you might want to put a cultist team together, and this might be part of it. There we can go, 12,600, that's what he's hitting normally. And then this time we'll restart it, we'll re-go round, and we can put on Anora in there and make sure that his his damage actually gets up by 10%, or at least the damage that his summons are knocking out. So there he goes down there, and then we can place her up as well. There she is there, and then this time hopefully we'll see an increase. There we go, 13,900. So there's a little 10% buff. Now this time Sun Wukong, who I'm sure pretty much everyone's got, there he is there, he's hitting away. Now he does a summon, he summons up to 3 clones, and they're classified as a summon. So there's the first clone there. I mean, another couple of hits and I'll have the second one up, and we can have a look when he's got 2 of them up. So there we go, there's 2 clones there, and we can see them hitting away, and they hit quite they hit quite consistently for 2,210 points of damage. That's it. Okay, so there's the 2 clones, but they hit each for that, and if there's another one up, then you'd get that one as well. So if we restart it again, we can chuck him down, and we can make sure that he's actually getting the bonus as well. So if you're using him down, maybe you've got room for her in your roster to actually put her down as well. If you think that you're getting that much damage out of him, would you like to boost his clones as well? So there's the first clone gone down. A second clone should be coming up any second now. There we go, there's the second clone, and we can now see that they are hitting for somewhat more. We are getting now 2,431 points of damage out of each clone, and you'd expect normally in a fight he would have more clones than that. Now the other thing I've done is I've gone onto the other account, and I've got some other heroes on here that are viable. So we now summon our skeleton warrior. So we go down, we summon up our skeleton warrior. There we are. There he is down. There's the skeleton warrior that's been summoned, and the skeleton warrior hits for 6,597 points of damage. That's quite nice. Now we can also place her down as well, and hopefully the skeleton warrior will also get a buff out of this as well, because apparently he summons a skeleton warrior for us. So there he goes down, and we'll just wait to see if we can get the skeleton warrior to attack. There's an attack, 7,200. So that scales up as well. Even there, we're scaling this up. So that's good to know. Now we've pulled her away, the buff, as we'll notice now, doesn't drop off. 7,256. That buff doesn't have a duration attached to it. It goes on for as long as you've got that summon there. If you re-summon, or the summon creature dies, then you'd have to redo it. But as it stands and it doesn't, then you can go. Now here we go. Here's our Not a Lord. He has no summoning attached to him at all. Nothing in his kit says summoning. So we'll quickly try him out and see how he goes. So theoretically, he shouldn't get any buffs from her. So I'm going to put him down and see how this goes, and I think you'll work out what's actually happening relatively quickly. So put him down, off he goes, and he's attacking away quite happily. There we go. But the Wailing Skull comes out and does 64k, 64,010 points of damage, a crit hit. Okay, now it generally does 2 hits as well. There was another white bit of damage going on after that. Now this time we restart this. Does the Wailing Skull count as a summon as well? Because we know how the coding is so well done in this game, it's thought it's worth checking. So Wailing Skull triggers off. There she is, 70k. So the Wailing Skull will also be classified as a summon when you're using her buff to summon, to do extra damage or give damage increase onto summoned allies. So Wailing Skull does count, although it's not in anywhere in the game, so to speak. So bear that in mind as you're looking over your champions. So what do we want to remember? We want to remember we've got a tag filter. So remember you've got that, and you can have a look to see who you've got. Remember that the buff goes on for as long as your summoned creature, pet, ally, whatever is on the screen. That debuff or that buff is permanent as long as they are summoned. If they despawn and then respawn, then they go off, and they're not, so that buff goes off them as well, even if she's not on the battlefield. So if she dies, or she comes online, she puts the buff on them, that's permanent. If she dies or you remove her, that buff will stay on them until such time as that summon creature that you've got or help despawns or you resummon. So bear that in mind as well. And remember, the tag filter as well is quite handy for a lot of these things. So there she is. That's how it actually works. Bear in mind, when you're booking this up, the attack increase is against the first part there. So that 12%, it started off at 10%, it's now at 12 due to the 2 skills that have landed in it. I would rather it have gone into this because this looks quite good. So if you're building a cultist team up, what you might want to look for is your cultist fighters. So they are few and far between, let's be honest, but fighters here. So if you've got any of the fighters here realistically, or here, then they may well do. You may well be able to put them in a Wailing Skull. So bear that in mind if you really want. If that's your thing, and if you're building a team, you might find that the Wailing Skull artifact here will work better on some people than others, because here chance of summoning one Shadow Guard, and that Shadow Guard takes up the 10% as well. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I'll see you again in a video again tomorrow, and have a nice weekend, or the rest of the weekend that you've got. Thanks very much. If you could leave yourself a thumbs up, like and subscribe would help me out massively, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Like I say, cheers, goodbye.